We're losing our nations here in the United States, in Britain, across the world.
I'm not losing my nation. I'm British.
You're not using your nation because you're winning this demographic battle.
What am I winning? I'm living in the pace of my birth, just like you.
But that's not really your home.
You don't get to tell me where my home is.
But you know that that's not your real home.
Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me what I know.
Didn't build it.
Sorry? Listen, my ancestors built it tenfold and weren't paid for it.
Look, it's like saying that
You could have enslaved someone else.
It's like saying African Americans built the United States. Like,
they did.
But
they literally built the White House.
Because we made them do it.
Oh, and you're proud of that. You're proud of that.
Well, it's had bad consequences. But the fact is, yes, I am ultimately proud of it.
You're proud of slavery.
I'm ultimately proud of my ancestors because...
You're proud of slavery?
I embrace all of it. I embrace all of it. We change history.
Well, Gary joins me now. Gary, thanks for coming to the studio. I mean, in that exchange, I guess Richard Spencer had never seen a black man with a British accent making that kind of argument. He seemed rather taken aback.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't expecting me to do the interview. First of all, he came over and said, oh, you know, you're doing the interview.
He didn't think you were the correspondent?
And then, no, he didn't think I was a correspondent. He hadn't done his homework. And then he, you know, launched into a series of kind of really banal and facile attacks that don't bear scrutiny, really. He's been banned from 26 countries in Europe. He can't even come to Britain. And he says he's more British than I am.
Now, you talked to a lot of angry white, especially men, but also some women. And we met plenty of those last year when we went to cover the election campaign. But it wasn't just working class Americans, blue collar America, white left behind America that voted for Trump. Plenty of, you know, middle class professionals, accountants, businessmen, even professors.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was actually Trump's base was overwhelmingly wealthy, was overwhelmingly white. The poor white Americans were the kind of junior coalition, and they were the bit that brought it over the top in places like Michigan and Wisconsin, those Rust Belt states. I mean, there's quite a lot of overlap between Brexit and the Trump vote in that regard, I think.
What surprised you most on your journey?
The thing that surprised me most was that when I asked Trump voters, and we didn't just speak to Trump voters, by the way, we spoke to a range of white folk, that when I asked Trump voters, you say you want to make America great again, where would you go back to? They all gave me a date 1940, 1950, 1970, 1980, which seems, I spent 12 years there reporting for The Guardian, and during that time, I had a sense of America being a basically optimistic place, a forward-looking place. And here we were, kind of deeply nostalgic and regretful.
Did you get any sense that the people who voted for Trump last year were now disappointed?
A couple, but mostly not, no. And I would say there are a couple of reasons for that. First of all, nothing terrible has happened yet. I mean, the economy is bumping along. Nothing good has happened. There's been no great legislative achievements, but this comes to the second thing, which is that they see a clear distinction between Trump and the Republicans. He occupies this weird space where he's a Republican president, but actually the Republicans don't claim him in a certain way. And then finally, the problem of the alternative, which is that while Trump comes up as a problem quite often for many people, the Democrats are rarely mentioned as a solution.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because you went to, I think, Cambria County in Pennsylvania, which was a swing county until Trump won it with a landslide.
That's right.
So you talk to these people who voted Democrat, then voted Republican, and suddenly he wins this with a landslide. That shows you that he's not going anywhere fast, is he?
Unless he goes to jail, then probably not. No, that politically, not a lot has shifted. Now, Cambria County, I spoke to a guy, Jeff Baxter, who voted for Obama, and now here he was voting for Trump. The first time he'd voted for a Republican, and it's Trump he votes for.
So talking about guns is interesting because, of course, gun violence comes up all the time. Do you think that the gun, especially for white male Americans, but also for black male Americans, is the kind of last vestige of power? This is the one thing they can still cling on to.
I think there are a range of things, a range of cultural signifiers, and the gun is one of them. And I do think it has actually does have quite a racialized kind of role, which is that when they make the argument about the gun, they say it's to defend people from tyranny. Well, where have we seen most state tyranny in America over the last couple of years? It's been in black working class neighborhoods where the police have shot people. If the NRA was serious about that, they would be arming lots of poor black neighborhoods and marching with Black Lives Matter, but they're not.
In one word, Gary, because we're running out of time, is the American system broken?
Yes.
It is?
Yes, most definitely.